Have you ever found yourself lying awake at night, quietly wondering, what if I had married someone else? What if I had taken that job? What if I had been braver? What if I had actually chased that dream instead of putting it on a shelf for later? And now later feels like it might be too late. It's a question that doesn't just live in your head. It echoes in your chest. Not like panic, not like grief. Something quieter, more enduring. A soft ache. A ghost of a life that could have been yours, but wasn't. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. In fact, it's one of the most common and least spoken about realities of aging. Today, we're going to talk about something most people avoid, not because it's dark, but because it's tender. We're going to talk about making peace with the life you didn't live. Let's begin gently. 1. Understand that regret is a natural part of a reflective life. If you've ever thought, I shouldn't feel this way, I want you to pause, because the first truth is this. Regret is not a sign you failed. Regret is a sign you've lived long enough to look back. Think about it. What is regret really? It's the tension between who you are and who you thought you might be. It's the moment you realize that some doors don't open anymore. And it can feel like loss, even when nothing tangible was taken from you. But here's the secret. You can only feel regret if you're wise enough to reflect. If you're brave enough to revisit your choices. Regret isn't weakness. It's awareness. And awareness is the first step toward healing. 2. Name the life you didn't live, so it stops haunting you. Many of us walk around with this vague sense of something missing, but we never name it. Naming your unlived life can be deeply uncomfortable. It makes the grief real, but unspoken grief festers. Spoken grief begins to heal. Let me tell you about Harold. Harold is 67. He worked in finance for 35 years, built a stable life, 2 children, a paid-off home. But one day he told me something quietly. I wanted to be a park ranger, outdoors, solitude, trees. But I had a kid at 22, and the money in finance was too good to pass up. He never told anyone that before, because it felt selfish, like betrayal. But when he finally named that unlived dream, he said it was like exhaling for the first time in years. What is the unlived life you're carrying? A lost career? A love that slipped away? A child you never had? A country you never moved to? Give it a name. Write it down. Speak it aloud. Grief cannot be processed if it remains unnamed. 3. Accept that all lives come with trade-offs. There's a dangerous myth we carry, that if we'd made just one different choice, everything would have been perfect. But that's not how life works. Every life comes with trade-offs. Every choice opens one door and closes another. The person who chased adventure may now long for roots. The one who pursued security may now yearn for risk. The parent who stayed home may wonder about the career they paused. The executive who rose to the top may ache for a family they never started. No life is complete. No story is without missing chapters. I once sat down with a woman named Denise, 71 years old. She had retired from a long career as a nurse and was a widow. She said, I love my work. I saved lives, but I never married again. And sometimes I wonder, did I miss the deeper kind of companionship? I asked her, would you trade what you gave your patients to have that? She said, I don't know, but I know I chose, and I did it with love. Peace doesn't come from pretending you could have had it all. It comes from recognizing that even the life you didn't live helped shape the one you did. 4. Forgive the younger you for not knowing what you know now. Here's a hard truth. We often judge our younger selves with the wisdom we've only gained by aging. But think of who you were at 20, 30, even 45. You were doing your best. You didn't have today's perspective, today's tools, today's clarity. That version of you wasn't stupid. They were simply younger. Imagine you could go back in time and meet them. Would you scold them? Or would you sit beside them, hold their hand and say, you were trying so hard, and I'm proud of you. Self-forgiveness isn't indulgence. It's freedom. Let go of the self-blame. You didn't ruin your life. You lived it the best way you knew how. And if you're here now, watching this, you're still learning, still growing, still becoming. That counts for something. 5. Grieve the unlived life, but don't let it define you. There's something sacred about grieving the life that never happened. It deserves space, but it doesn't deserve the driver's seat in your life. You can cry for the path you didn't walk, without dismissing the one you did. Make room for a ritual if it helps. Write a letter to the you that never existed. Light a candle. Plant a tree. Take a walk and say goodbye to the dream you carried for too long. Grieving isn't giving up. It's giving form to what's been shapeless. And when grief is honored, peace begins to enter. 6. Find beauty in the life you did live. We often undervalue our lives because they don't match our old fantasies. But real life, the one you lived, is richer than we realize. Look closely. Think of the people who love you, the strangers you helped, the times you stayed when it was hard, laughs you shared, the quiet mornings, the loyal friendships, the unseen resilience. There's a man I know, Alan, who spent years regretting that he never published his novel. But then his granddaughter found an old story he wrote just for her. She cried. She said it helped her through middle school. He looked at me and said, "I guess I was a writer after all, just in a different way." The meaning of your life might not be in the big things. It might be in the way you made others feel. And that is a legacy worth more than we know. 7. Choose to live forward even now. Here's the final and maybe most important truth. You're not done. As long as there's breath in your lungs, you are still becoming. You can't live the life you didn't choose, but you can still choose the life you want from here forward. Is there something you've always wanted to try? A relationship that needs healing? A part of yourself you buried long ago? It's not too late. You're not too old. You're not behind. You are right on time for whatever your next chapter will be. The life you didn't live may always walk beside you, but it doesn't have to steal joy from a life you did. You are not the sum of what didn't happen. You are the richness of everything that did. So I leave you with this. What have you made peace with? What unlived dream are you still holding with tenderness? Share your story in the comments below. You never know who your words might heal. If this video touched you, please give it a like. Subscribe for more reflections that speak to your stage of life. And share this with someone who may need this quiet reminder that it's never too late to begin again. Thank you for spending this time with me. Your story is still being written, and it's worth reading every word.